and welcome to ECP. My name is Aman Sharma and I am your mentor for CSC at ECP. So today we'll be doing a topic from Theory of Computation. The topic name is Chomsky hierarchy. So Chomsky gave a hierarchy of languages for theory of computation, in which we see which type of language it can be and what are the relations between the different languages and what type of machines. From this Chomsky we can also learn what type of machines those languages use. Now this Chomsky hierarchy is the most important thing in theory of computation. If you don't know Chomsky hierarchy, you will not be able to attempt a single question in theory of computation. And if you have a clear understanding of Chomsky hierarchy, some of the 1 marks question will be based directly on this only. So it is a very important topic. Now, as you know, there are subsets of languages. So first we have type 3 language. The bigger subset is type 2. After that we have type 1 and then we have type 0. These are the subsets. Like if a language is type 0, it may or may not be type 1. But if a language is type 2, it may or may not be type 3. But if a language is type 3, it will surely be, sorry, grammar is type 3, it will surely be type 2 also. Now, the language made from type 3 grammar is called regular language. Language made from type 2 grammar is called context free grammar. Language made from type 1 is called context sensitive language. Here also we will have context free language, and the language made by this is recursive enumerable language. Now these are the language. So you, by Chomsky hierarchy, you can see if a language is regular language, it will also be a context free language. If it is a context free language, it will also be a context sensitive and it will also be a recursive enumerable. But in the question, if it is given that it is a context free language, you can surely say that it is also context sensitive, but you cannot say that whether it will be regular or not, that you have to check. Now, regular languages use finite automata, which is further of two types, NFA and DFA, with both having equal power. So NFA and DFA are used to will accept regular languages, and NFA and DFA has equal power. So this means every NFA can be converted to equivalent DFA and every DFA can be converted to equivalent NFA. Now next is context free language use PDA, push down automata. Now push down automata is again of two types. First is NPDA, non-deterministic push down automata. NFA is non-deterministic finite automata. DFA is deterministic finite automata. NPDA and DPDA is nothing but deterministic push down automata, and the power of NPDA is greater than the power of DPDA. And as you can see, CFL is a bigger subset of languages, so this means they require more powerful machine. So PDA is more powerful than finite automata. So you can also note this point, which is very important. Now, as NPDA is more powerful than DPDA, so this means there must be set of languages which DPDA can accept, but there must be set of languages which DPDA cannot accept, but NPDA will. So this means there will be some smaller subset of this language. So context free also has a smaller set, which is also called deterministic context free language, which is called DCFL, which is accepted by DPDA. So the smaller set is regular language, after that the bigger set is DCFL, then CFL, then CSL. Now CSL use linear bound automata machine, linear bound automata, and similarly recursive enumerable use Turing machine. Now there is also a Turing machine which is less powerful than the original Turing machine, which is called halting Turing machine, HTM, halting Turing machine. So if there is a machine which is less powerful than Turing machine, then there must be but HTM is powerful than linear bound automata, so there must be a set which is smaller than the recursive enumerable but bigger than the context sensitive. So that set is called recursive languages, REC. Recursive enumerable is called RE languages. So these are the machines and these are the sets. Now as you can see, as you go towards the upper side, the power of the machines increases. Now one thing, that if a language, let's say L1, if a language is accepted by, let's say, finite automata, if a language is accepted by finite automata, this means that that language will be regular. Now if that L1 language is accepted by the finite automata, so this means a more powerful machine, which is PDA, will also accept it because it is a more powerful machine. So L1 will also be accepted by PDA. So this means L1 is also CFL. So any language which is regular can also be CFL. Now if I see the other part of this thing, let's say a language is accepted by PDA. So this means L1 is CFL. Now if a powerful machine is able to accept it, you cannot surely say that the less powerful machine will be able to accept it or not. So L2 language, you are not sure whether it will be accepted by finite automata or not. So you cannot say whether L2 will be regular or not. So you cannot go down in the hierarchy, you can always go upwards. So regular will always be CFL, CFL will always be CSL, but a CFL cannot be surely regular or not, but it can be CSL. So this is the main crux of Chomsky hierarchy, that these are the grammars type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3. The languages associated with these grammars are regular language, context free, context sensitive, REC and RE, and in between we have DCFL. Machines required for them are finite automata, NFA and DFA, both have equal power. So if I want to write down in the terms of power, NFA will have equal power as DFA, DPDA will be more powerful than them. Then after that NPDA will be more powerful. Then we have linear bound automata, then we have halting Turing machine, and in the end we have Turing machine. And one more point that you can notice, finite automata is used for regular languages. Yes. Now if I add, finite automata has finite memory. If I add one stack to the finite automata, it will behave like a PDA. So if you add one stack to the push down automata, it will behave like a PDA. If you add two independent stacks to the finite automata, or you can say if you add one more stack to the PDA, it will behave like linear bound automata. And after that, if you add an infinite tape which can both go towards the right or towards the left with the right and left movements, and it is an infinite tape, it will behave like a halting Turing machine. So you can see how the power increases. So initially we have finite automata, you add one stack, you will get PDA, you add two stacks, you get the functionality of LBA, linear bound automata, and if you add infinite tape, you get the functionality of Turing machine. So this is what Chomsky hierarchy is, and this is how these languages work. Now we have started at ECP we have started a module for GATE, in which we will be covering all the theoretical and the numerical aspects of the GATE, which we will be covering thoroughly. All the subjects and every part of the syllabus will be covered. So we have started a module. You can go to our site and you can check there. It is both offline and online, and the batches have been started. So you can call on the number given on the website. So I hope you like this video. For more videos like this, subscribe to ECP, Engineers Career Point. So keep watching and keep preparing. Thank you.